And with that, we're going for a short commercial break.
Stay with News First.
Welcome back to the news. Let's cross over now to Studio 3, where Zulfiq Farzan has the latest details from the Presidential Commission of Inquiry.
Well, thank you very much, Shane. It's day 67 at the Presidential Commission of Inquiry, appointed to investigate into the issue of Treasury bonds. Now, starting off today's proceedings, we saw President's Counsel Kalinga Indatissa make a submission to the Commission requesting to appear and represent on behalf of his client, Arjun Aloysius, whose name has been mentioned more than once at the Presidential Commission of Inquiry. Now, today's witness was Richie Dias. He's the Deputy General Manager of Treasuries at Pan Asia Banking Corporation, and his evidence was on the phone conversations that had taken place between Perpetual Treasuries, Pan Asia Banking Corporation, and the Employees Provident Fund. Now, in his evidence, he said that it was Kasun Palisena from Perpetual Treasuries, and he would call Pan Asia Bank and tell them that the EPF is prepared to make a purchase and that Perpetual Treasuries is prepared to make the sale at a particular rate. Now, once this information comes in to Pan Asia Banking Corporation, they would call the Employees Provident Fund, and according to the witness, it is one person who would answer the call when it's relating to these transactions, and his name is Saman Kumara, another name that has been mentioned more than once at the Presidential Commission of Inquiry. And after getting the confirmation from Saman Kumara, Pan Asia Banking Corporation, while serving as an intermediary between Perpetual Treasuries and the Employees Provident Fund, gives the go-ahead for that transaction, and that deal is taking place. Now, the witness, Richie Dias, also testified on oath before the Commission that his former chairman, Nimal Pereira, also dealt in securities, and his dealings in securities, the sales and purchases, also took place in this fashion. He testified that there was a pattern when it came to Pan Asia Banking Corporation serving as an intermediary for both Perpetual Treasuries Limited and the Employees Provident Fund. He also testified that Pan Asia Banking Corporation would get a half a basis point margin profit. Now, according to his evidence, this profit range was determined by the former chairman of PABC, Nimal Pereira, and Arjun Aloysius of Perpetual Treasuries. Now, this information about Pan Asia Banking Corporation serving as an intermediary between these two parties came to light when evidence was led by the Additional Director of IT at the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Wasantha Alves, where at one point Deputy Solicitor General Milinda Gunatilaka mentioned before the Commission that there was a pattern in trading designed to mask the real beneficiary, and that is how the name of Pan Asia Banking Corporation came to light at the Presidential Commission of Inquiry. Speaking of investigations and inquiries, let's have a listen to what Minister of Health Dr. Rajitha Senaratne had to say regarding investigations.
Before coming into power, your group promised the people that the rogues would be nabbed. The people are asking, where are the rogues that you nabbed?
It's taken some time to nab the rogues. However, that does not mean that we are not nabbing the rogues. The process is ongoing, but at a very slow pace. Some matters have been investigated and directed to the Attorney General's Department, where it lies for another year or two. This is the issue we have. However, during the recent cabinet meeting, we had a discussion with the President on this very matter. The President expressed his disappointment regarding the lethargic investigative process.
Who was it directed to?
It was towards the Ministry of Law and Order and the Ministry of Justice. The Attorney General's Department, the CID and the FCID are under these ministries.
Can one assume that these investigations are deliberately being delayed?
We cannot imagine what is actually taking place. Because of this doubt, rumors are making their way to the public domain. There is a talk of underhand deals. There is talk that attempts are being made to undermine this process at dinner parties. It is because of the delay that rumors are spreading.
Do you have information on this?
Yes.
Is the President prepared to take over these ministries?
There is no need to wait for the ministry to be handed over. He has the power to take over at any time.
Yes, the president made a humble request to hand him over.
The president is not prepared to single-handedly use the presidential powers. He aspires to have it done via discussion with the Prime Minister as per the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. If the president wants these portfolios, he can discuss it with the Prime Minister and get it.
The people suspect that a certain group wants to deliberately delay these investigations.
This doubt rises because of the lethargic process that is followed. There are those responsible.
Do you have suspicions?
Yes, I do have my doubts.
Well, let's now have a listen to what two government ministers had to say regarding one particular party that is being investigated at the Presidential Commission of Inquiry.
The public is shocked. It has come to a point where the attorney of the individuals who are responsible for the central bank bond scam are threatening those who come before the commission. So we are telling those who work there that their organization is a fraudulent company. The attorneys can speak on behalf of their clients, but they cannot threaten the witnesses. Perpetual Treasuries has its own media. They have TV stations, radio stations and newspapers. So just imagine the amount of money they have robbed. All this should have been cancelled and taken over by the state. They were established using stolen money.
Staying on the topic of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry, today's witness, Richie Dias, also testified before the Commission that Pan Asia Banking Corporation always used a money broker when it comes to dealing with another party in government securities, and bypassing this process was something unusual. Well, I'll be following the Presidential Commission of Inquiry and all its proceedings throughout the next couple of weeks and report as and when all the unfoldings and new evidence comes to light. The news continues after this commercial break.